Biz Bestie. Welcome to our last episode in this community building series. I hope that you have found value in the things that we have been talking about, whether it's in our solo episodes or our interviews, and whether you are in a community, if you're looking for a community or you are building community, we have covered it all, and I hope that you have found value in this series. And this last episode is going to be me and you, girl. It's going to be me and you. And I'm going to share with you the 6 types of people that you need in your life, the 6 types of friends, or the 6 types of, whether it's business connections, just people around you and in your community, in order to really be grounded, to be surrounded by the right people. And I love this concept that there's going to be different types of people that you need in your life, because I think that, at least for me in my past, I know that it was almost like I had a couple really great close friends, but I almost expected them to be all things to all people. Or when I was newer in my marriage, and it was like my husband should fill all this need for this, whatever it is. And the truth is that he just isn't. My girlfriends wouldn't, and I can't fill every need for everyone, for my friends or for my husband. We are meant to have community around us and different types of people around us. And so I'm going to give you this beautiful list of 6 people, and this actually comes from a really great book. It's called Find Your People by Jenny Allen, and highly recommend it if you haven't read it. And I'm just going to share with you the 6 types of people that she talks about having in your life, and it's in one of the chapters. It's called The Path to Connection. So the first type of person that you are going to need in your life is the encourager. Actually, I'm going to back up one second. Before I go into these any further, you heard the first one, but before I go into them, I actually want you to also take a look at maybe where you are, or the type of person that you are for the people around you based off of this list as well, right? Because it's a two-way street. Relationship goes both ways. Connection goes both ways. Okay, now for the 6 types of people that you need in your life, as well as maybe where you can find yourself and how you show up for other people. So number 1 is the encourager. This is the cheerleader, the friend who believes in you. They see the good in you and they call it out. It's easy for them to speak hope when you are discouraged, and they see the best in life and in people. This person oozes belief and support. Now, I definitely find myself here in this encourager role, even in just as being not only an encouraging person and it seeing, I would like to call it gold mining, being able to see the gold and the potential in others. And so I definitely find myself here personally, which is why I'm everyone's biggest fans, and I'm gonna I believe in you and what is going on. If you are new to the show, you will quickly know that I'm for sure an encourager. And if you have been here for a while, you're heck yeah, girl. Yeah, you are. So if you ever need a pep talk, if you ever need someone to see the good in you and to call it out and to call you to raise to that level of the potential that's inside you, I am your girl. Okay. So number 1, the encourager. Number 2 is the foxhole friend. This person is just a good companion. This friend gets their hands dirty with you. If you have an idea, they are all in. They will fight for you and fight beside you. There is another gal, the author is sharing in here how one of her friends, how she calls herself the dream defender and comes along almost every dream that the author has, and just really helps her build and defend the dreams that are on her heart. The foxhole friend may not use words to express what you mean to her, but she'll be right beside you and share in whatever trouble you get into. And I love this as well. So this is where, I for sure have a foxhole friend, and I show up, I know I also have a foxhole, I show up as a foxhole friend for other people when there is intimacy and time and loyalty that's built. When there's vulnerability, I almost like to say when it's like these are a little bit more of like my inner circle people, and I show up like this with when I'm in someone's inner circle and they're in my inner circle. So I love this foxhole friend, and those people are for sure needed. The number 3 is the challenger. This is the friend who isn't afraid to tell you the truth. They won't let you settle, and they will kick you in the booty if you get off track. They might not be your easiest friend, and you might have to work through conflict here and there, but they make you better every time. The challenger, God bless them, God love them. And sometimes you might find yourself here, or you might find a friend that shows up like this. I sometimes show up like this. Again, I show up like this when there is relational equity. So I will call people and encourage them higher into their highest self. Absolutely. I will challenge a little bit, but if there isn't relational equity, then that's where I won't necessarily call you out on your crap as the challenger. But if there's relational equity and you have given permission for me to be able to show up as the challenger in your life, then I will for sure. The next one, number 4, is the fun one. This is the friend that brings the party. They might not have a 2-hour debate with you about theological issues or political issues or any of that stuff, but they will make sure that you laugh often. They are spontaneous and pull people together and say something inappropriate that interrupts whatever bad mood you find yourself stuck in. I love this one. My husband is definitely this person, and I love him for it. And I know that I will laugh for the rest of my life for sure. Number 5, the planner. This is the organized and thoughtful friend who makes sure you get together and make sure that the bills gets paid and split up correctly during the night out. She starts the meal train email and remembers your birthday. She hosts the baby showers and drops by with a meal when you get sick. She's just is the one that is really organized, and she's going to rally the group, and she's going to make sure everyone's on track and has their to-do list. Thank God for the planners. I think for me personally, I have had to I live and die by my calendar. Don't get me wrong. If it's not on my calendar, I don't know it exists, first of all. And then second of all, obviously, yes, be organized and that kind of a thing. I think if we're in business, we have to understand, our calendars are important, make a planner and that kind of a thing. But I would say this person definitely has a gift and a strength in administration. And they're the planner, and they're going to rally people around a cause. They're going to do the baby shower, and they're going to send everyone the to-do list, and they're going to delegate, and they're going to say, all right, here's your meal train, and that type of, if you're doing a meeting, they're going to send out the calendar invites and follow up and make sure everyone's showing up. And God bless these people. I love them. I am kind of a I would say I'm a pretty high functioning planner, and I also one day would love to have an executive assistant that takes care of the tedious things like sending out all of the email invites so that I can just show up with what my calendar says and my executive assistant can tell me what to do. I would love that one day. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. And then number 6, the type of people, the type of person, the 6th person that you need to surround yourself with is the sage. This is the friend who listens, who prays with you, who advises. They love for you to bring them a problem. They carry wisdom. There is a deep well of wisdom with them that they have earned through studying, through knowledge, through, whether it's reading books or courses or even through life experience. They are safe and trustworthy. And so this is kind of it could be that mentorship type of a role in your life, and especially in your business. So those are the 6 types of people. And again, this is coming from Find Your People by Jenny Allen. We need the encourager, the foxhole friend, the challenger, the fun one, the planner, and the sage. Now, I love this list because, again, I feel like it gives this beautiful invitation to allow the people in your life to be exactly who they are and nothing more and nothing less. Like if you have that mentor that is the sage for you and you get to go to them for advice, they're probably not going to be the planner. Maybe they'll be the encourager, but they might not be the foxhole friend that's going to get down and dirty, or maybe they're not going to be the fun one, or if you have the challenger, maybe they're not going to be the party one, or you have the party one and they're not going to be like the foxhole friend. So I love this because I think it gives almost a definition or just like permission to allow people to show up in your life as exactly who they are without needing to put more labels or expectations on them, and vice versa. Like give yourself permission to show up exactly who you are and that facet of you to shine and to be exactly who you are for people without any further expectation of needing to fill any other or all of the roles all at once, right? And I like, at least for me, as I was reading this list, I found myself in a couple of them, and it depended on the level of friendship. It depended, right? Like if maybe I haven't met you, but we are friends on Instagram, I am for sure the encourager, and maybe you share that you're publishing your next book, and I'm like, yes, you go, girl. But I'm not necessarily maybe a foxhole friend for you because we've never met in person. We've never really had a full conversation besides like some of the hearts and some of the way to go girl, in the DMs. Like there's a difference. Like for me, I'm a foxhole friend for my inner circle. And, I might be a challenger, when it's like there is that relational equity with someone. So that's where I feel like this list was so great because it's like, okay, I can have an encourager in my life. I can have a foxhole friend in my life, a challenger, the fun one, the planner, the sage. And then once I'm like, oh yeah, this person, they are the challenger in my life, I actually am more willing and open. Like once I recognize that in that person, they're the truth teller, they're the challenger. They might not be the easiest friend or right to work with. There might be a little bit of conflict here and there, but they actually make me better. So when I know that about someone and they're a challenger in my life, I actually am going to welcome the conflict. I'm going to welcome them telling me the truth and giving me a kick in my butt to get into, to get it, to let go of my crap and my excuses or whatever they're challenging me on, right? And so I just thought this list was so beautiful, and I hope that it encourages you to, again, surround yourself with not only these people, but when you are able to, again, my hope with this community building series is that you are understanding what it looks like to be healthy in relationship, to be healthy in connection. Because I don't want you just to have a bazillion connections and all of a sudden they're unhealthy and relationships blow up and there's gossip and it's toxic and whatever. Like we want healthy connection. Like we are big people. Like my heart is to build big people. And when you are big on the inside and you are healthy in your relationships, when we have like what we've talked about, that interdependence, right? Not independence, not codependence, but interdependence, where I am not needy for you, but I recognize the need that my soul has for connection. Then I recognize the need that me as a human being that I have for relationship and for people. And so I am interdependent on community and interdependent on people around me to help fill in a healthy way that need that my soul has, because we were created for community. So I hope that helps give you a really great list. And if you have been loving this series, I would actually love to hear. Feel free to give me, share one of your favorite episodes or your favorite nuggets that you have learned throughout this series. Tag us on Instagram. My personal one is Charity Majors. The Business and Bubbly one is Business and Bubbly. And I would love to hear your favorite nugget. And maybe even from this episode specifically, if you are the encourager, raise your hand, girl. Hey, I'm the encourager. I listened to this episode. And or give your girl a shout out and say, hey, I actually recognize that you're the challenger in my life. And I'm really grateful that you challenge me to be better. And I just want to thank you for that. So even start to recognize those people in your life, send them a message, thank them for who they are in your life. And then if you are interested in building healthy community and you don't want to do it alone, you don't want to start from scratch, here's the call to action is I actually want you to send me a message on Instagram. And I want you to start the conversation of what it could look like to be a chapter director. And here's why, okay? I actually believe that I have been given a puzzle piece. And I know that there are a lot of women that are creating community right now, or a lot of women are like, what could it look like to create community? Like, it is in the atmosphere, it is in the ethers, it is like in the collective that we need community. But here's the other thing, is that there's still a lot of people that are creating and trying to build community alone. And so guess what? Like, we have this girl, she's, like, let's say, for example, maybe you're building a little whatever coffee connect date in your city, and then another girl is building a little wine whatever date in her city, and then another girl, but they're still isolated and they're still individual silos, right? So I actually believe that you have a piece of the puzzle, but you're keeping that piece to yourself, and we don't get to see the bigger picture. It doesn't become a part of a bigger picture unless we all bring our collective puzzle pieces together, right? And that's the opportunity that our chapter directors have, is they're actually bringing together all of, like, you have a call to build community. Let's bring it together and build something bigger than what we could ever build alone. And that's what this is about. That's what being a chapter director is all about. We have profitable community systems. We teach you how to do it in an easy and profitable way. And it's almost like the fast track. Like, you get to get my 3+ years, not only with Business and Bubbly, but guess what? My corporate career, even before being an entrepreneur 10, 12 plus years ago, was building culture and building communities for huge corporations and universities. And the beautiful part is that for me personally, like, I've been building community in multiple arenas and in person. I used to have a brick and mortar business, an award-winning business. And like, you get not only like all of my expertise and access to all of that as a expert community builder, but also I teach you how to be a facilitator and a leader. My personal mission is actually to build big people, so that when you walk into the room, that you actually have the internal capacity and the energy and the atmosphere within you to be able to hold the space for other big people around you. And so this is the call to action for you, is that we want you to start the conversation to be a chapter director. You are invited to come and to be a part and to bring your puzzle piece and to come and be a part of something bigger than what you could build on your own. So send me a message on Instagram. You can also go to the website, businessandbubbly.com. There is an application there. It'll explain a lot more of it, but definitely check it out. Our heart is to build community. And I get this sense that what we are building now is for what's to come. And let me explain this, okay? So when it comes to like even things like this is like what my intuition, my gut, like my foretelling, I'm just gonna like speak this out. Like what my hunch, what my gut is getting is that in the next couple years, especially as AI gets better and better, and now all of a sudden we don't know if that person is real talking to me on Instagram, and they're probably not. In-person connection and who we know is actually going to be held at the highest value. And those that are building community and in-person connection are going to become some of the most valuable people within the market, and people that can lead well. Because here's the thing that I've also learned is that if you're building community, it's with people, and it's messy. And although people are amazing, they're also imperfect. And, there's customer service and issues, and there's conflict issues, and there's all of the things. And if you want to for sure deal with that on your own, you absolutely can. But if you want to deal with it within community so that you don't necessarily have to maybe deal with a return, or you don't have to deal with, oh my gosh, like what is happening right now? We actually really pour into our chapter directors leadership skills and conflict management. And so we're building big people in order to house, like I almost like to say like that we are like, this is like the harvest of what's to come when it comes to those who are really wanting to come into community. So that's why we're equipping our chapter directors for that. And is so fun. So we'd love to invite you. And okay, that's enough of my spiel. This is my spiel, you guys, okay? But I'm so passionate about it, and I hope that you can hear my heart. And if you are resonating with this, the spiel that's still going on, no. If your heart is like, you know what, I want to be a part of something bigger, then I want you to reach out to us. I would love to have a conversation with you and see if it would be a fit. And let's link arms and do this together. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed this series. Our heart is to build healthy community, to build big people. We are just getting started, and we're so, so glad that you are here, that you are on the journey with us. And as always, cheers to your success. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.